Hey YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul. Today's video I'm going to show you how to get those awesome hi-hats that you hear in trap music, so let's get straight to it. Here's the beat that we'll be working off of. So let's program in some hi-hats and get those sounding really cool. So I'm going to bring in a software instrument track, and I'm going to bring in a drum kit here. And we're going to use Trapdoor GB because we want those trap hi-hats. Now, when you're producing trap hats for trap music or hi-hats for trap music, it's all about division times above anything else to create a nice, cool groove that you hear today. Producers spend a lot of time in the piano roll and changing up division times to kind of get a cool groove, and I'm going to show you what I mean in a moment. So right now my division time is set to 16th divisions because I know that because up here in my control bar I see 16 right here, which is my division time. If I change it to a triplet, which is also very important to trap music and trap music hi-hats, like a 24, you'll see the grid changes, or 48. You see the grid changes. Any number I change this to, the grid is going to change. And we'll be working with going back and forth with this a lot when programming hi-hats. Now, if you don't have this up on your transport bar, right click on it, go to customize control bar, and make sure you have time signature division ticked. This will give you your time signature and your division as well. So first things first, what I like to do when programming in hi-hats, I just like to go put in a straight 16th note hi-hat note repeat. So something like this. This is what used to be good for music, but not anymore. So now let's go ahead and start changing up our division time to get a cool groove. So I'm going to change this over to a triplet at 24. I'm going to create a little stutter effect, and you get those stutter effects with triplets sort of right here before the snare hits. So let's take these out. Push that there. So here you get that little stutter effect. So let's do it again over here. Maybe on this one we're going to put it a little faster, so let's go to 48. And let's just zoom in on that grid. And we'll get a faster sort of stutter effect. And over here I want to get that sort of dragging out feel that you hear in Drake tracks. So I'm going to go to a slow division time. Let's go to 12 here, and we're going to really stretch out our notes. Maybe we'll speed it up here at the end as well. Now again, it's all about to preference and what you feel is good for the track. I'm just sort of playing around with different division times and step inputting hi-hat hits. Okay, this is getting really annoying that it keeps jumping like that. So right here it doesn't really sound too good, so let's go back to 16. And it's okay to go back and forth until you get something right. So as you can see, you're getting sort of a cool groove right there. So let's create another stutter over here like we did over here, and change the grid back to 24. Put a nice little stutter in. And again, right now we're just working with different division times. we'll put something really fast here. Let's put in a 64th division time. And this is going to go really fast here. Maybe a little bit too fast. Let's put in 8 here. Maybe at the end we're going to sort of get a dragged out feel and do something really slow. So let's change this up to a 12th division time. Let's see here. Let's take this out, push this, and push this. And let's hear how that sounds. Put one in here as well. It sort of gives you that sort of that Drake style hi-hats. Sort of kind of slows down the track, but not really. Gives you a different groove. So let's say that we like this here. We're happy with everything we just did. The first thing that you want to adjust is the velocity. Make sure all the velocities on each note are different so it doesn't sound so robotic. So I'm going to select all of this. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to duplicate this track. I'm going to leave what you would normally just leave, and then I'm going to play out what effects we do after. So let's go ahead and mute this. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight all of these right here. I'm going to go to functions, and we're going to adjust each velocity individually, but using a quick, neat little effect. So I'm going to go random velocity, and we're just going to make sure that we set a big gap between the lows and the highs, or soft and the hard hits. And we're going to select and operate, and each note hit now gets a different velocity. Just gives a different feel and vibe to the track. Now, it gives it a little bit more of a human feel. Now, the next thing we're going to do is apply pitch changes to our hi-hats, because that's used also in a lot of trap music. So I'm going to bring in a pitch shifting plugin. So we're going to pitch shift. Now, you can also do this in your sampler, whatever you're using right now in your DAW, whatever have you. It may have a pitch built right into the sampler instrument, but I'm just going to use a plugin for this tutorial. Change the timing to drums. Push the mix to 100%. And on this slow down part right here, I'm going to lower the pitch. So we're going to slow it down right there. So I'm going to turn on my automation. I'm going to go ahead and touch. And let's just slow that down here. So if I show you my automation lane, you'll see that I'm going down in pitch as these get played out. It kind of gives it a cool vibe. The next thing that you could kind of adjust is your panning throughout the track. So let's say we want to start our hi-hats on the left, we can kind of end it up on our right and kind of go back and forth just like that. Now, I'm not saying you want to do that all the time, but sometimes if your track is sparse and you want to create some cool movement in the track, do that with your hi-hats. So if we go like this, and you kind of get some cool movements right there. Now, if you don't want it sort of moving just like that, what you could do is sort of do a little harsher sounds or harsher panning. So something like that. Actually, let's start from the left to the right, because that's what I usually like to work with here. Now again, you want to do this subtly. Maybe I'm doing it a little bit too drastically here. I'm going to push it up a little bit. So the next thing that we could play around with is the envelope and sort of the attack and release times of your hi-hats. So I'm going to bring in an enveloper right here just so you can see visually what's happening. Let's bring in enveloper. And maybe on this end part here, we can sort of maybe bring down the attack and bring out the release. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I'm going to bring out the release. So over here, you just want to make sure that everything else stays the same and you're just affecting that one section. Let's go up to make sure we're at 0 here. Let's go ahead and change back to the attack and make sure we're also back at 0 point here. So now you kind of get differences in attacks and release times at the end here. It's subtle, but it's a cool effect. You could apply different attacks, different decays at each little section in your trap hi-hat patterns. You can also play around with the panning, like I said, at different times. I'm just showing you different techniques that you could use. Now, it's not exactly how you want to do it, but just sort of give you ideas how you could kind of switch up your hi-hats, because hi-hats are very important in today's trap music. And lastly, I want to show you how to just really bring out your hats. Just bring in a nice chorus effect. Let's go to modulation chorus. And to really just get it nice and wide, pull up your mix, pull up your rate all the way. And your hats get nice and wide. And if you really want to pull out your hats, just duplicate what you just did there. I'm going to copy all of my automation and I'm going to leave this one with no chorus. And I'm going to have this sitting a little bit higher than the chorus one. Looks like it didn't save my random velocities here. I'm just going to quickly do that again. I'm not sure why I didn't copy down the random velocity hits, but we can quickly fix that right now. That's what we got so far, and this is what we started off with. Very robotic, very straight, and here's some movement. Those are some techniques that you could use when you're programming hi-hats for trap music. And like I said, you don't have to follow exactly what I did here, but just be creative with the attack and decay time or sustain of your hi-hat hits, because there is a lot of information there that you can kind of play with and create cool effects. Change the pitch at various points in your hi-hat pattern. Also bring something cool to the listener. Change the panning to get some movement. Change the volume, and of course change the velocity on every hit so it's not so robotic. And pull in a chorus to make it sound nice and wide and full. If you do have a question on this, you can ask me in the comment section below. For more good videos like this one, remember to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Talk to you all soon. Later. Peace.